Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm super excited to come to you today with another fresh new interview for you. Guys, we have a great guest interview today, and I'm so honored. We're not gonna sit around and fluff around. We're gonna get right into it, meat and potatoes, because we only have a short amount of time with Jason today, and I want to get the most out of it for you as we can. So we have Jason Cromley on with us, owner of Hidden Creek in Ohio. Jason, I am so honored to have you on the show. Thank you for coming and joining, spending some time with us today. People in the industry probably have heard about you. They know that what you're doing. They saw you host Grow this year. They see that your business is flourishing and thriving and growing. There's a lot of things that go into that, right? And it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We were talking, it's a beautiful day in Ohio where you are, and you're like, man, I'm stuck in the office no matter what. But there's a lot of guys who actually want that. They want that, right? They long to be stuck in the office. And so that's because they're stuck in the field. They're in and out of the field, in and out of the truck, and they're trying to get out of that. And so, Jason, we're going to have an awesome conversation today, man. I appreciate you. Tell us a little about yourself, the backstory of Hidden Creek, if you don't mind, what that looks like, the whatever version you want to tell. And then we're going to dive into really hiring some A players into your organization today.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much for the intro, Jeremiah, and all the kind words and the build-up. You know, it's all sunshine and rainbows. I don't know what you're talking about. Like every day,
exactly.
Man, sunshine and rainbows.
No problems.
Man, you talk about a grind. We're actually going to hit our 27th year this year.
Wow.
Started in 1998, and that was my business partner and I who met at the Ohio State University.
That's right. You bet. I'm from Alabama, and I even know that. You better say that right.
Even you got to know that. But we met there back in, 96, and we were both in landscape architecture, decided we didn't like that, went to landscape horticulture.
Okay.
And here we are working for these other landscaping companies, and we know more than they do. They got terrible work ethics. I'm like, let's just start our own company. Like, I had a pickup truck. Like, we're there. And so 1998, we decide to start doing some side jobs. We're taking classes. We're bartending at night. And we decided to start landscaping on the side. And I'm born and raised in Columbus, lived here my whole life. And of course, like anything, you have a ton of family, ton of friends. Someone needs something. And real quick, Matt and I figured out totally different backgrounds, but we had one thing in common, which was a strong work ethic.
Mm.
Now it wasn't in school work ethic.
Yeah.
It was who can get the bigger calluses, right? Who can put more bags of mulch in a wheelbarrow? And so real quickly, we discovered that we both wanted more, and it was really about pushing ourselves. But we both loved horticulture. We knew our plants, we knew Latin, our college education. I still drop it to this day that actually helped us with closing deals. You know, we weren't two guys just in a truck who decided to start landscaping one day. You know, literally landscape architecture, construction management, and landscape horticulture. Like,
wow. Did y'all finish? Did y'all graduate with degrees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We definitely. Now, took us 5 years.
Yeah.
And lost a ton of credit hours towards other things, but you know, we had a really strong background. And I'm not saying that that's the story of our success, but it's one of the pieces that we are proud of. And honestly, like we could have made more money without finishing college.
Yeah.
But we knew long term it would really help us. And so glad that we did that. And you know, I think it took us 10 years to get to maybe $1 million.
Wow.
You know,
yeah.
But it was forever. I mean, remember, you're talking, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. And all of a sudden, I think my son, I just turned 50, literally last Thursday.
Yeah.
So, you know, my son he's 21 now, and I think he was probably 6, and my daughter's 3, and my wife's like, so this a job or is this a career? Because we're not going to make it, right? We're not making ends meet.
Yeah.
And she was a full-time nurse, and I was like, you need to be home more with the kids. And she's like, that's not how this works. We have a mortgage. And so I kind of got pretty serious real quick and said, all right. And we had always grown. It was easy to grow, right? There was always a good demand. And when you're small, you gave me your numbers already, Jeremiah. I mean, that's doable.
Yeah.
Right. I'll be honest. We were 21 million last year, and we're going for 25 million this year.
Holy cow. Yeah.
20% growth, right? Yeah. That's no big deal. It's still $4 million.
Yeah.
The kicker about that is I'm going to do it with the same amount of people I had last year.
Wow.
So we're not adding, 20% to our staff. We're adding 0 to our staff. We're actually going to make some cuts because we were overproducing last year. We weren't selling efficiency last year. And I'll be honest, we didn't have enough sales and we had too many people.
Yeah.
We felt so obligated to our people that we were just overdoing things, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
A job would have 1,000 hours and it took 1,200 and we just kind of let it slide, So you gave some of that away. So when you have a backlog, it's a lot easier to schedule, be efficient, order, all those things. So that's kind of what happened to us last year. The story of Matt and I is different in the fact that I kind of led myself more towards the business side of things. I became director of sales, director of all finance. Matt was always, boots on the ground. He's the guy that's out there, I'd be in my desk all day long, clean shoes, clean pants. He'd come in covered in mud. So he's a project manager on our design build side of the company. And now I sit as CEO and run pretty much the sales and the finance and the grinds, the purchases, the mergers and acquisitions, all those things.
That's amazing. So much to unpack there. You already hit on where we're going to go a little bit today, just like talking about you were overproducing last year and you're about to add $4 million in revenue and not add people, right? That means you have some A players in your team that are going to produce that. Before we dive into that, though, can we dive in? Share as much or as little as you want. You were overstaffed at 21 million. That's crazy to me because I feel like I was overstaffed last year doing 500,000, right? So how the gap there is insane, but there's got to be something common there. And it may be it's different, right, at scale. But why do you think that was? Why were you so quote unquote fat at doing 21 million?
Well, here's the tough thing, and this, again, you've got a lot of business owners on this podcast, I'm assuming, right? Here's the worst thing is, we have a nice process here at our company that every estimate has to be reviewed by a production manager. Yeah. Right? Because everyone says, well, sales will sell it for nothing, and production always wants more hours. No one wants to have me approve their estimate because I'm like, that's too many hours. You're overproducing it. Yeah. If I were, back in my 20s, I could have got that job done in one day and you want 3 days to do it. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because that was hunger though, and that was grind. Yeah. Right. And that's what business owners are designed to do. And it's the way we think. So we're always think we're overstaffed. Right. Because you're like, if I was out there, I could have got 20 lawns cut today and I still would have got a hug and I would have got cookies and I would renew that next year. And then you're sending your people out and you're like, well, why'd you stop at the gas station? You should have done that before. And why didn't you blow it off? And why didn't you, so we can never help but judge other people because we're always comparing them to us. And that is one thing that will drive you crazy. Yeah. So one, no one is ever going to put in your effort because you don't put in 100%, you put in 120. Yeah. And not to say that your employees don't put in 100, but more than likely your employees are going to give you 80% of who they are. Mm-hmm. Right. That's a big difference between 120 and 80. Yeah. Right. And again, not judging you probably have some people that are putting in 100. Yeah. But you got some people that are putting in 60 and they also know it. So if you get to the average of 80, take that as your level of efficiency. The reason that we were so overstaffed was we were selling out of pocket last year. We were selling, and we still have, our average job last year on the design build side of the business was probably 215,000. Wow. Okay. Right. Not enhancements, not mowing, just our larger design build projects. Yep. Well, the year before it was 275, and this year it's 315. Oh, so you had a weird year. Yeah. So we had a really low job average last year, which meant you had to sell more of them.
Yeah.
Right? Which is more folders, more designs, more estimates, more clients. Anytime you have more clients, that's more communication that's required. And communication is still slow in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
So we really tried to realize that even with a lot of staff, that was the problem, is the same staff are doing the same amount of accounts, but it was not getting any faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And when your job sales went down, we weren't selling out 3 months. We were selling out 3 weeks.
Wow.
So you're turning things really, really quickly. And when the guys would start to foresee that there wasn't 2 projects behind it, they don't work as fast either.
Mm-hmm.
They started to see that they didn't have the next job to go to. There wasn't the big backlog. And that's when they started to all of a sudden, work till 4:30 when they were done at 2:30.
Yeah.
And we understood it. We almost literally accepted it because we have great team players and it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
I can't punish them. I can't cut their out. And I could have, right? This is just me. I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we didn't, because I really wanted to take care of them.
Yep.
And we still did some measurements and what production rates would be and understanding. And then we're just doing a reset this year to say, now we're incentivizing people. And I'm not sure if you guys are on it, but we use something called Leanscaper, which is Mark Bradley. We're all in, and he doesn't ask you if you can do it. He says, this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's holding people accountable from below foreman, up to ownership, up to sales. Everybody's got a number and you got to hit it. And so we're becoming more of what I would call a data analyst company than a landscaping company, if you can believe it. We do landscaping great, but we knew that.
Yeah. Are you utilizing scorecards then, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so we've rolled them out to our sales team is getting them this week.
Yeah.
Production team should get them, I think, the end of next week. And by the end of the year, the goal is to get it into foreman's hands so that we could use it for them next year.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Have you been in the process of building those?
Yes.
Yeah.
And luckily, if you're a part of Leanscaper, they help you build them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, I can be honest about me, right? As a landscaper, I hate paperwork.
Yeah.
Right? I love relationships. I love talking to people. I could do podcasts all day long. But if you're like, Jason, could you compile all the notes and make sure you follow up with everybody? No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like to sell. I like to meet. I like it to be new and fresh. So a lot of us always got stuck in not doing the paperwork behind things. And that's one of the things that, I figured out pretty quickly. I had to hire someone to get into my office to help me with those things. I was billing when I was hungry. I was billing when payments were due.
Yeah.
And I was collecting when payroll was due. And so once you do get someone to fill that office seat, believe it or not, man, that's a real game changer for you.
Yeah.
Because if you take a month to bill a client, that means they get a month to pay the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like, that's their mentality.
They're not in a rush.
If you didn't need it for a month, why would I pay you in a month?
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that we kind of put into place that really helped us a little bit. Obviously, that office person still handles a little bit of that HR piece for you as well, too. Some scheduling things, which is always great.
Yeah.
But, being overstaffed this year, we're not going to be. We've implemented the 5S system again, the 9 types of waste. And I hate to say it, it's the one word that everybody hates, which is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most important thing you can do for anybody working for you and for yourself.
It's the only way. It's the only way everyone succeeds. Like that's the why. Why would you put? Because it's so you could go so deep. Like if you're not holding people accountable, if you say something but you don't hold up to it, then like that changes your employee's view of you. Like if you hold them accountable and they're an A+ employee, then like they're gonna see, hey, this dude cares about me. Like he has my best interest in mind, right? Like that's the way I always try to tell my guys. Like. So I coached high school basketball, and I had a great coach when I was in high school. And I would always, when I was coaching my players, when my coach was coaching me, if he thought we had, and if I thought I had a player that showed potential, I was going to ride him to no end. He was going to be held accountable. He was going to I'm a big sports guy and take a lot of analogies from that. It's the same way in business. I was literally in our leadership meeting on Monday. I said, look, the only reason that I ride y'all and the only reason that I try to correct you and hold you accountable is because I see the potential here. If I didn't see you had potential, I would just say, yeah, just cool, get it done, or I would just kick you off the team, right? Like that's part of being on the growth-minded team is you have to be held accountable. And so what is that like? What does accountability look like for you at this size of business and over the years? What does that look like? How has it kind of transformed? There's a lot of you're doing accountability a lot different than you did probably 20 years ago. So how has that transformed over the years?
It's great questions. You got great questions, Jeremiah. So thank you for, kind of digging in deep on me too, because it is really difficult, right?
Yeah.
As an owner, it really is tough. And, I'm not a hothead by any means, but I'm uber competitive.
Yeah.
Man, when I missed the sales goal, our goal last year was 25 million. We did 21 million.
Yeah.
How do you think I felt?
Yeah.
I was out there selling, grinding. I'm doing whatever I can because I believe it's attainable. So, when I started to discover that accountability piece, right? And we use something called EOS as well, too, which stands for Entrepreneur Operating Systems. We don't have an organizational chart. We have what's called an accountability chart, right? So as you're looking up, it's that person's going to hold you accountable. That person's going to hold you accountable. And you're 100% right. You mostly pick your A players and you ride them harder than anybody else, right? You've seen enough sports movies, enough sports teams. That's always the trend that's going to keep repeating itself. The problem is sometimes we also burn out our A+ players because you're giving them C players.
Yes.
And you're thinking that it's their job to turn them around. And sometimes A+ players are not managers. They're not leaders.
Yep.
They just kill it at mowing and weeding and edging. And no one can mow as fast as them, right? Or no one can build this wall as fast as them, but they also don't want anybody else because they're going to get slowed down.
Yeah.
So the hardest part is teaching people's accountability. Like, what would you like me to hold you accountable to? Because guess what? Your list is 100 and their list is 10.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's getting with them in that conversation saying, let's start with your 10 before we start with my 100. And let them gain their success and gain their own momentum, right? And even if it's like, okay, you've got 10, how about we do 8 of yours and 2 of mine? Because you got to get to your point, right? You got to get to what it is. And if you give them the opportunity, right, to make their own list, to see their own successes, then like anything, they're going to push themselves harder. And a great coach always knows how to try to get the best out of his best players.
Yeah.
We've also kept players on a team that we shouldn't have kept on a team.
Yeah.
And they can take an A+ player down to a C.
It's detrimental.
And we know that, and we still do it to this day. I can guarantee you this, Jeremiah, I am still making the same mistakes you're making. I could be 50 million and I'm still making the same mistakes. Like they still happen no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. Still leaving a shovel behind, still forgot to mulch the back bed, right? Still cut beautiful lines, but then the guy cut across the front yard with the mower and like you just ruined everything we just did today.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't call a client back. All those mistakes still happen. So that's the thing when people maybe hear our number and big success and all this, I'm like, nope, still same mistakes.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of them. Right. And as an owner, I'm like, do I really have to deal with Mrs. Jones upset about this? And the answer is yes, I still do. Because I still care about our reputation and our brand.
Yeah.
Very important to me to make sure that people still say, because in this town, and they'll say it hopefully about you someday, like they know it's Hidden Creek, but they're like, well, that's Jason Cromley. He owns Hidden Creek. And I see him at the pool, or I see him at the golf club, or I see him at these places. It's like, well, yeah, I called your company and no one called me back. It's like,
that's a gut punch.
It is. And you're like, just give me a quick minute. I just got to make a quick phone call, right?
Yeah.
And I'm 0 to 100 miles an hour, ears are red. I'm like, I'm looking for somebody, but I do try to ask the question, right? Where did it slip through the process? And is the process being adhered to? So before, when I would call and yell and be upset, now, I call back to the office. I'm like, this person called in. Can you verify in the system that he called in? Can you look at the CRM and see if he was contacted, right? Did we have his right phone number? Did we have his right email? So I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Did this person really call in, right?
Yep.
Did they get the office? Did the office do their job and say, actually, Jim, I'm sorry. I just checked the system. We emailed you 3 times, but actually it was your wife who called in and we haven't got a response from her. He's like, damn it. She said she called you. No problem. How about if I handle this? Let me get it back on track. I'll come over and meet with you and your wife and we'll move this forward.
Yeah.
So it goes to that accountability piece that you asked about. Who was accountable to that client when they called in? Was it the person who answered the phone? Was it the salesperson? Who should own that? And again, make them accountable. Like, you got to handle this meeting now.
Yeah.
You didn't do your job. Now it's your problem. It can't be my problem every time somebody's upset.
But it's not flying off the handle either, right? It's like you said, you work through the process. Where did this fall through the cracks? And if you don't have the process in place, you fly off the handle. But that probably comes back to you at the end of the day, right? Like, did you have the system in place to manage this the right way? Yeah.
And that took me a long time. I'm 50 now, like I said. So, when I'm in my 20s and 30s, I'm not this way.
Yeah.
Right. I'm intense. It's like a lot of us, it's 80, 90 hours a week. And you did everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And man, they love it when you do stuff for them, by the way. Makes their job a lot easier. So it has been an adjustment. I still have good days and bad days. I read my books. I do my sauna in the morning and my cold plunge in the morning just to reset my mind and my body, because I'm like, man, I wake up ready to take it on every day. Being a Buckeye fan, as I'm sure you're aware, we don't want to win the game. We want to destroy the opponent at all times. And by the way, if you don't beat Michigan, then, we're going to call for your head.
Exactly.
Great job on the national championship, but you still should have beat Michigan, right?
Exactly.
It's never enough. I'm sorry for any Michigan fans on the call here today.
That's hilarious. Oh, my goodness. It's so true, though.
Yeah. So accountability is hard, but you do have to start with yourself, and you got to be able to make a promise to your team, and it's a fair trade, because you're going to ask them to do things, and they're like, all you ever do is ask us, what do you want from me?
Yep.
And it's a trade. If you do this, like if you can hit this mulch hours, right? On this and this, then I will give you $100 cash on Friday if you hit the hours.
Mm-hmm.
I want a video at the end of it, and I want to be able to call Mrs. Jones and verify that she has never been happier with her mulch install. So you hit the hours, you get a happy client, you get a referral, $100 cash, you and your whole crew, and you give it to them on Monday, right?
Yeah.
That can get you 5 more jobs where you hit the hours.
Yep.
And then if you're like most of us, they'll be like, well, can I get that every job I do? It's like, well, that proved that you can do it. So now let's do it on 5 jobs, right? Not just 1 job. That was the most difficult job. So you got to be careful. If you give an inch, sometimes it feels like a mile.
Yeah.
And trust me,
how do you manage that? Like, I mean, at a high level, we don't have to drill too deep, but like that is something that as I build a team and I incentivize, like, how do you manage that? Because you're doing it at scale. So,
it's funny. It just came up yesterday. So we've got a pretty cool program here that if you get a review and your name is mentioned, you get a $25 gift card.
Yep.
Right. Easy. Great. We've got, 700, 800 reviews. Right. So, and that's big in the landscaping world.
Oh yeah.
And so we give our team cards to give to the clients. They write their name on it and they give it to the client. They can QR code it and write a review right there. Right. Super easy. Well, they left one in my mailbox when they did my spring cleanup. And I happened to look at it and there was 10 different names on my spring cleanup card. And I'm like, so 10 people came to do my spring cleanup? They even had it printed with a label maker of every name. Right. So I'm like, you guys are now abusing the system, right? I went from 3 people did my spring cleanup to now all of a sudden 10 people have done my spring cleanup. That review will cost me $250, right?
Wow.
And so we did a fun program. We got this out there. Hey guys, put your name on it. This is super exciting. We use 3-man crews. That's the most we should get to 10 people, get 1 review for $250. And by the way, the client could write 1 sentence, list out all 10 people's names and said they did great. That's not going to sell me the next job.
Yep.
So I had to get with the manager and say, hey, your team is off track, right? And you need to get them realigned. And the fact that doesn't build up a relationship with the client, that just means you're kind of petty, and it takes out the fun part about why they're doing a review. The review should be they saw the crew, they went out, they saw who was doing the work, and they're super proud it's those 3 people, not 25 people that visited a commercial site throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so it is hard. And I was super upset because I'm like, how did you let this happen? But, he's like, well, it's a great way for them to get some extra money. I'm like, that's not how we give them extra money, right?
Yeah.
You give them extra money because they're proud that they got a review because they did a good job, not because they put their name on a card with a label maker. Like that's chintzy to me. And that's not our brand or our image.
It's the opposite of what you're trying to achieve. Exactly. Yeah.
Exact opposite. And, me and it's tough because of my personality. I judge people for like, why did you even let that get through?
Yeah.
And that's not fair to judge them because I'm like, I never would have done that. So I can't put what I would have never done on, 130 people who work here.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Man, I want to be respectful of your time. We got about 5 to 10 more minutes here. I want to dive in, if we can, into this whole A-player talk. So this is something that we talked about on our previous show and that I did this week. And then I want to drill in with you, like, over the years of growth, right? You've added A-players to your team. Like, Hidden Creek is a bunch of A-players. And as we grow, I see the need for it because I have one. I found one or two, and I see what we're doing with those one or two, and I'm like, okay, we need 20 of these, right? And so, but guess what? They're expensive, right? They cost a lot of money. But what will they produce you on the return, right? And so, if you don't mind, like, share with me. Let's dive into this and unpack it for a few minutes here about building out A players that you've done on your growth journey here. Maybe some times where you were like, hey, I don't have the cash for this. Maybe I don't even have the work for this. But like so your role is gonna be a little different than mine because I didn't go to school for this. I started out of high school and we've learned on the job that's what I didn't go get a degree in landscape architect or horticultural. So like up to this point, our business has been like my brain is the bottleneck. Like what I know is what we can do. So I'm trying to hire people that know more than I do. Maybe somebody that does have a degree, right? And so those players cost a lot of money. And I'm sure you've hired those people over the time. So over the years, what does that look like? Long story short here, finally gets you to the question. What does that look like and how did you do that? Maybe when you felt like you didn't have the cash to necessarily do it or you didn't know if it was the right time.
It's a great question, and it's a problem that's always out there. And I still struggle with what I pay some people to this day, just so we're clear, right? It still happens, but I will say there's some people that I've hired that I don't mind to be uncomfortable financially, and sometimes it'll actually push you, right? So I buy outside of what I have, right? And it's because I know that if I do that, I'm like, now I got to find a way to make this money back.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not this person's responsibility. The key thing with hiring the A-plus player, right, when it does cost you more, it's what does that deal look like when you put it in front of them? Meaning, what are the goals and tasks that you have to hold them accountable to, right? And you can't make it so that you look like you have panic in your face, by the way. They pick up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, again, you want a foreman, you're paying your guys $25 an hour, and someone's like, I need $35 an hour. Great, sounds good. Tell me why you're $35 an hour. How many accounts can you mow? What's your, revenue per hour on this? And not to say you make them feel like they're not worthy of it, but make them prove why they're worth that much.
Yeah.
Right. And then just run the numbers on it. Right. If I got a guy I'm paying 25, I'm paying this guy 35. The guy at 35 can't just be better. He's got to be more efficient. He's got to earn it back. And the big thing that I'll tell you, and this is the big panic that most people have, is let's say it is $10 more an hour. That doesn't hit you the day they start. Mm-hmm. It takes an entire year for that to catch up. So you've got time to test it, to measure it, and for this person to prove it. Right? It's not impacting you day one. Mm-hmm. Even if you get to an employee or a salesperson's like, I need $100,000 a year. You're like, 100 grand. What?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I was making. Okay. What did you do to earn that much? What was your sales goal? What's your closure rate? Did you sell more hardscapes, more softscapes, all these different things so that you can say, well, I'm going to work my business to your skills to understand how I can quickly return this. Right. And I can pay you this much to get to this much. And I'm still negotiating to this day with people. Just did it this week. I wanted to pay this much. They wanted this much. I said, fine, here's how we work the deal. I'll give you 90 days and I'll bonus you up to the amount of money that you wanted. Right?
Yeah.
Because in 90 days, I'm going to know if they're worthy or not.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. And, you want to make what you were making. Well, there's a bonus at the end of the year, but you got to hit gross margin. And this is what it is. It's not what time they come in the morning. That's not what time they leave. It's that they hit the numbers that you needed them to hit. And believe me, all the degrees, man, they didn't teach me anything about gross margin, net profit. I didn't know any of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I knew plants in Latin. I knew how to roll on a piece of paper, but that business side is a challenging side. And there's a book, if a lot of your guys are in that same business, there's a book called E-Myth.
Yeah.
Michael Gerber.
Amazing book for the landscape version.
Yeah. The landscape version is great because it's true. A lot of us are, as owners, we're in the field, right? We're the doers, right? And it's very few of us that break out of that to stop being the doer. And to your point, said that I need to get into the office, right? And they say, you know, I need to work on the business, not in the business. I do both. Still do it. I stay away from my mechanics because I don't know anything about working on a truck. But as you're looking for these A players, you mostly don't find an A player off of Indeed. You don't know you found an A player till it's 90 days in, maybe a year. But we do have this impression that every time we hire them, that we just hired an A player. Yeah. Because they told you they were. And just know this, on an interview, that is the best that person will ever be.
Yeah, that's right. They're giving you the best. Yeah.
They're giving you their absolute best. So if you're in that interview and you're like, I don't know, they're not going to get better than what you just saw.
That was my next question. Do you always hire off of your gut?
Yeah. I ask certain questions that tell me about a person.
Yeah.
And
do you have one? Do you have an example of one?
Hiring off my gut?
An example of one of those questions.
So we use, again, a lot of EOS. Couple questions I ask people are, how do you hold yourself accountable to the promises and tasks that you've made? Right? And then I always ask people, like, what do you do for fun outside of work?
Yep. You learn a lot about it in that way.
Yep. And did you ever play on any teams or do any sports in high school?
That's good. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, if they're like, well, yeah, I was a captain of my basketball team. I'm like, okay, you were a captain, which means either coach picked you, players picked you, you're a leader. Yeah. Right. And, in this world, I like competitiveness. So I like if they've got some of those things.
Very cool.
That might not work for an accounting role, but, it still works for other types of roles. And again, I try to give them scenarios of, you come in today and the truck is broken down and two people don't show up. What do you do? Well, I guess I go home. I'm like, okay, now I know what you want to do. Yeah. So I try to paint a very realistic picture of what's going to happen. Not of the bad things, right? The good things, just like us, we're presenting to an employee how everything is rainbows and sunshine and clicks. Yeah. And it doesn't. Yeah. So we try to be real, and I'm sure you guys do this too, try to be real with your potential candidate, be like, look, it's going to be some bad days. You might get here at 6:30 and you might be here till 7:30 that night. Yeah. Like, it's just spring ops, but we pay overtime. We pay every 2 weeks. We do a boot program. We got all these things because we know we push you hard and we'll reward you for it.
Yeah. That's amazing. I literally had just had that conversation yesterday. Like, we just hired 2 new guys and I was like, look, I don't have it figured out. We're growing. I'm going to be transparent. It's not going to be like, we're going to figure it out one day at a time, but we got big goals and big visions. And if you can buy into what we're doing, then I think we're going to help you grow. And that's like, what I tell people now is like, we're a landscape company, sure, but we're a people company first. And when we serve our people, we take care of our people will serve our clients, then we'll talk about us, then the business grows. It's a never ending circle there. So that's very good, man. Well, before we wrap up here, I got one question. What is you're obviously energized. You're obviously pumped up. You're competitive. You're a competitive nature. You wake up every day. You do your sauna, your ice bath. What makes you go? What is your why?
So love languages. I'm sure you've heard of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mine is words of affirmation. I need people to tell me that I'm doing great. Makes me feel good. I like making people happy. For my wife, for my kids, to my clients, I just want people to say, what you do is amazing. And the only way to do that is to attack every day in an amazing attitude. So I want to see other people see me as a success, right? And it's not money, right? To your point, like if my I just lost the word. My renewals should be at 99%, right? I should be able to retain my employees at 95% because that is a reflection of the type of business that I have, right? So I'm driven by making sure that clients never want to go anywhere else and that my employees love it here. They want to work hard and they want to stay here with us. So my drive is honestly taking care of other people, because if I take care of them, it automatically takes care of me.
Yeah.
Right? The byproduct of those two things is my success.
Yeah.
So I'm driven to make other people happy, believe it or not. And same with being on this phone call, right? I hope this helps somebody, right? I hope that somebody picked one nugget up out of it and they do something different, because that to me is important, that our industry has a great image and a great name, because I love what I do and we deserve it. And we all know how people view landscapers.
That's right.
When you say, when someone asks you what you do for a living, you say, I run a landscaping company. Automatically, 80% of the population says, you guys cut grass.
Yeah.
And sure, we do that.
Yep.
We do a lot more than that.
Yep.
Right. And I don't mind saying I'm a landscaper. I'm proud to say it.
Yeah.
Proud to say we do pools and pool houses and lighting and outdoor speakers and everything, but I'm proud to say the industry that I'm from. Yeah. And I'll never lose that.
That's amazing. Be proud. Be proud.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Awesome, man. Well, where can everybody follow you? I know we got to wrap up. Where can they follow you and connect with you if they want to see what you're doing with Hidden Creek?
Yeah, get to Instagram. That's where we're posting our fun pictures. It's going to travel into Facebook as well, too. But get out there on the world of Instagram. Follow some of our pictures. We got some killer projects this year. So we got some stuff that will be really fun to watch and see progress throughout everything.
Amazing. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Jason, for coming on. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, reach out, let me know. You can follow Jason there on Instagram and Facebook. Are you on LinkedIn as well?
Of course.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you tuning in. That's going to wrap this one up, and we look forward to catching everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.